Chapter 2. Amir. It was the last day of junior year, so Tyler and I ditched school right after lunch, cutting across the sports field to the back trails above the marshes. The trenches roiled with the stench of dead, swollen dogs. When it rained, the whole place reeked of fur and flies. Tyler took out a glass bowl, packed it with some mid-grade he'd bought off Dup Moiser. I asked him what the plan was, and he said he didn't know. Fucking around till Trisha's party? He puffed 3 perfect rings and handed the bowl to me. It's cherried. That place sketches me out. Trisha sketches me out. 2 winters before, she had snorted something like 70 grams of Adderall and stabbed her sister with an X-Acto knife. He put an arm around my shoulder. My guy's gonna be there, and he says he's got crazy mushies. Don't worry. He rubbed my face and head. I'll protect you. There were lots of things to love about Tyler, even if folks don't talk about that stuff anymore. If he liked you, if he saw you as an ally, even temporarily, he'd make sure you feel like the center of his universe, and you deserve it, at least for a while. The trail rose to an incline, all rotted up boards and loading pallets. Tyler put his shit away and we climbed, steadying ourselves on tree trunks and thin branches, up from brush into downtown. Jill. Everyone was going to Trisha's party, but the thought of being around that many people made me shake. So I asked Lou if she wanted to hang out. She smiled, never making eye contact. I don't think she had any other friends. Lou. She flipped me alabaster and lukewarm, steady. Everyone else seemed like they'd kill me if they knew what was inside. I'd play out her day in my head, close my eyes and conjure her mornings, my insides in her form, feeling the weight of her comforter, her muscles, my muscles, going tense and stretching out of bed, then rubbery, fabric slushing soft and loose against her skin, my skin. I'd sit inside her face as she'd eat toast and cereal and grapefruits, feeling it crumble down her throat, my throat. Dust playing off of our skin in the warm nuclear light. I'd feel her walking across pavement, my feet in her shoes, the wind yielding over our face and body, our hands in her pockets, alabaster and lukewarm. People would have killed me if they knew about that. Jill's mom pulled her car up the curb and we got in the back seat. It smelled like dead plastic pine needles. Jill's mom turned around to face me and smiled. You excited for summer? Yes, I lied. Summer break was full of knives. I already missed school's framework, an anchor. Any big plans? Mom. Jill leaned in toward me and mouthed, sorry. Okay, just being friendly. She turned back to the steering wheel and pulled out of the lot, and already I felt like I'd done something wrong. Jill. Mom, honk. It was Hector Ferreira, standing at the bus stop, pale and dazed like he hadn't slept. We'd been close when we were little. He may have been the first boy I ever really liked, but his parents started homeschooling him, and we eventually grew apart. I still thought about him sometimes, and it was always good to see him. It'd been a while. Mom gave me 2 quick beeps. Oh my, was that Hector? Sure was. My eyes followed him as we passed, his head cocked, staring into emptiness. We rolled around a bend and then he was gone. My God, he's so old. No older than me, I said. Mom's eyes looked sad in the rearview mirror. We got home and I went straight to the bathroom, peed, and texted Tyler. I washed up and headed back to the kitchen. Lou stood stiff and hunched over by the counter, shoulders forward with her head down. Mom waved me with her phone. I was thinking pizza, she said. Does pizza work? Amir. We hoofed across Cooper and Main Street onto Linden Avenue, over to Pizza Utopia. The smell of cheap canned garlic and old grease was so thick it coated your skin the moment you walked inside. Thin, chugging guitars and a nasal voice singing about being the man in the box crackling over dinky ceiling speakers. Marlon sat at the register, dug into a book with a picture of an octopus holding a silver knife on the cover. He looked up. Yo, what's good? Tyler tossed his back in the booth. Nothing, Marlon said. Nothing is good. Tyler pulled the bag out of his jeans pockets. You want to smoke some pretty okay weed? Marlon hopped over the chair and on his tiptoes, looking past our shoulders to the plate glass. Jesus, shit, yes. You gotta put that away now, but Jesus, yes, please. He led us behind the counter, past the kitchen and over to cold storage walk-in. He pulled open the stainless steel door and we wedged in between the racks of tomatoes, pepperoni, bacon, pickle jars, and bagged iceberg lettuce. Tyler packed his bowl, fished a lighter out of his pocket and handed them both to Marlon. Marlon took the hit. Yeah, he wheezed. I'd call that pretty okay. What are you doing tonight? Fucking closing. Marlon made a little handgun with his middle and index fingers and stuck it in his mouth. Bang. Why? Crashing Trish's party. I'd rather pull my own teeth out. Oh, unrelated. He eyed me. I think I just sent a couple pies over to your gal. He knew I hated Jill. What's she doing tonight? I think he had a thing for her himself. Hanging with Lou? I don't get why you let her hang out with that guy, I said. I hated Jill, but something about Lou made me sick to my stomach. Mostly it was his voice, something like a computer programmed only feel sorry for itself. Wait, really? Marlon said. Lou's like the sweetest kid. He comes in here with his mom sometimes. He's fucking creepy. He's a creepy dude. He's like autistic, but he isn't creepy. Autists are fucking creepy. Dude, Tyler broke in. Autists are fucking wizards. We all laughed. The pot and the cold air were putting us in a good place. Life didn't seem like hell. Then Marlon hushed us. What? I said, coughing, stuffing my mouth with my elbow. Did you hear that? The door swung open. Yo. Jer stood in a stained chef's apron, his salt and pepper hair shining like he hadn't been washed in a decade. No shit. Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Give me that. He yanked the bowl and lighter out of Marlon's hands. We have customers. Marlon pushed past Jared to the front counter, rubbing his eyes with his knuckles. Jared half shut the door behind him. You jokers are here more than I am. Whose is this? He took a big hit. Mine. It blows my dad, he exhaled. If you're going to stink up my shop, do it with better shit. You love it. Tyler smiled, pulling his shitty gas station tin flask from his pocket and handing it to Jared. That's how he made friends. You're right. I do. He took the flask and unscrewed the top and swigged, choking a little on the okay scotch we'd siphoned off his mom's cabinet. You guys light up my goddamn life. That winter, Jer got wasted and wept his life story to me. About his father and his brothers and his half-brothers. How he never really loved them. Years later, he took a plunge off the Lily Williams Bridge, splitting himself open on the rocks below. His note read, There are worse things in this world. Lou. I picked the cheese off the pizza with a plastic fork and gulped down a Pepsi to burn away the grease taste. Milk and cheese turned my insides off, turned my skin slick and sausagey. Sometimes I'd have to choke back throw up just from smelling it. Lou, Jill said. Voice like dolphin skin. If you don't like pizza, you can always say something. I know, I lied. I like pizza. Her walls were covered with cutouts from magazines, thin gray women black dresses and underwear, men with long hair and guitars or keyboards, photos of her friends, one of me. Her drawings and watercolor paintings, angels and devils with big eyes, snakes and rain showers. Her room was like a blanket. We watched prank videos on her computer, laughing, even at the ones that twisted me. She asked what I wanted to watch next. I almost told her about the forum, but caught myself. She wouldn't understand. Or it'd make her grow knives for me. So I said, anything. She laughed. No knives, but something gross. I swear to God, before graduation, I'm going to teach you to assert yourself. I made myself laugh along with her. I made myself smile and say thank you. Jill. Lou rocked gently back and forth on my bed, staring at my walls, never at me. So, summer, right? You've got anything cool going on? I don't know. She looked down at her knees. Anything you want to do? Not sure. Like she'd only just developed the capacity for speech. I never talked much either, but whenever I was with her, you couldn't shut me up. A quiet scratching at the door, low, pathetic groans. It was Harvey. Is it okay if I let him in? Yeah. Are you sure? Yeah. She looked away from me, only slightly. I want to get used to him. I got up and opened the door. All 80 pounds of beautiful inbred golden retriever pushed through and licked my knees and hands. I probably love Harvey more than anything else in the world. He made more sense to me than any person I knew. My parents, my sister, or even Tyler. Everybody's more complicated than a dog could be. Sometimes, I think I liked Lou for the same reason. Amir. We said peace to Marlon, stopped by Tyler's to get his bike, then headed back to my place, hanging out, smoking butts, taking selfies in the blood swamp. When the sun was almost gone and the sky streaked all slasher flick pink, we biked up to Trisha's house. Trisha lived in the Highlands and was pretty much the awfulest person I knew, but her parents were loaded and always gone. I had no idea what they did for work. I'm guessing neither did she. She threw some alright parties that were good for scamming beer and drugs. We rolled down to the foot of her driveway and hid our bikes in the bushes. Her house was set far down the road, past a gate flanked by twin stone lions. We climbed in the driveway under pale LED lamps, past two boys standing out in the yard, boxing gloves on their fists, swaying side to side on loose knees. A girl. I recognized her from school but couldn't place the name. Watched from a distance. I can't see you, one of the boys mumbled. I can't see anything. The other boxer raised his fist and took a slow swing. Fuck you. Tyler pulled out his phone, tapped a few times, pressed it to his ear. Hey, yo. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm out front. Cool. See ya. A white kid with a head full of shitty blonde dreadlocks emerged from behind the house. What's up? What's good, man? Everything, man. The hippie gave Tyler a dab. He was older. Maybe 22 or 23. I'd seen him around town, but that was it. Everything spectacular. He pulled a fat gray bag out of his pocket. 60 for the quarter. Cool. Great. Tyler took out a square from his mom's cash and pressed it to the hippie's palm. The hippie handed the bag to Tyler. You sticking around? You know any of the girls here? He bounced on his heels, scratching at his arms and chest. The neck of his Celtics jersey dark with sweat. Don't know. Just got here. He examined the bag. Plus, I don't give a shit about that. The hippie giggled. Alright, I see how it is. Don't let me keep you. He gave us each a mock salute, turned on his heels, and wobbled back toward the rear of the house. Tyler's phone buzzed. He grimaced at the screen. And he just stood there for half a minute, staring before stuffing the bag in his pocket. Then he grinned at me, silver-eyed in the moonlight. You ready for something incredible? Jill. I texted him again. Ever since the previous weekend, I couldn't not worry about him. I'd gone to his place because his mom was out of town. We were in his living room, and he'd just finished off most of the bottle of a 10i. He'd said his tolerance was exceptional. But maybe 15 minutes later, his eyes went blank and he got all quiet. He stood up and headed for the front door. I trailed behind him. Baby, what's up? He didn't hear me or wasn't listening. When I tried touching him, he whipped his arm back at me. Then he gripped the knob with his other hand, swung the door open, and shambled into a wet fever night. Bugs and birds screamed from the bushes as he ran out into the middle of the road. I ran up behind him, locking my arms around his waist, pulling him backward. He flailed and groaned. Whoosh! A pickup truck roared past at clipping distance, howling up gusts of exhaust, drunk, manic honking as it tore around the bend. I pulled him to the lawn as he squirmed from my grasp and he pushed away. I fell to the grass and watched him go back inside. I got up and tried the door, but he locked me out. I didn't want my parents to see me drunk, so I slept in the backyard. I woke up with the sun high and bright and him standing over me, staring at me like I was an idiot. The hell are you doing? I told him what happened. His forehead creased and his eyes got wet. He said he was sorry, that sometimes he sleepwalks. He said he was sorry. I nodded. I didn't press it. I wanted him to keep liking me. When I close my eyes, even for a second, sometimes I see a picture in my mind. His body, frozen, stretched across asphalt, face down and away from me. Face down and away from everything. His body dragged naked and pale along the river's floor, scraped up and nipped ragged out by trout, or his silhouette dangling from an ancient tree. The visions would turn to certainty in my head, a pit twisting in my stomach. But then my phone would shake and it'd be him, intact. "Hey," Lou's wispy voice. "Hey." I looked up. I didn't know how long I'd been staring at my phone. "Lou, I think I'm going to go." "Shit, I'm sorry, I can put this away." She opened her bedside drawer and dropped her phone inside. "It's okay, I'm tired." "You don't have to go." "I know," I lied, but I could feel her turning blue. My insides flipped cold, but not by much. It was okay. I texted my mom, and she picked me up. Amir. We cut across the yard over to the other side of the house. 7 or 8 kids, half naked and passed out in and around the jacuzzi. Dead 40s and Smirnoff ices dotting the ground. Some assholes huddled together, drinking and laughing. Jason Painter, Tommy Bosch, and Chris and Tad McCraig. They called themselves the Dirty Boys. They dress and talk like hicks even though their parents were loaded. Tommy's dad managed a Lowe's somewhere in Vermont. Chris and Tad's family owned a farm on the outskirts, and Jason's dad was a prosecutor in Kenny. A few years back, we caught them in the river, laughing and drowning a litter of kittens. They were the only kids in school who really scared me. Tyler puckered his lips and then gave a wink, then grabbed me by the wrist and led me into the trees. Jason hollered, "Keep walking." Another yells, "Bet they're blowing each other." "I told you this would suck," I said. "Fuck 'em. Get these in you, now." He pressed a handful of mushrooms into my palm. I gulped them down, trying not to gag on the dead taste of stems and caps. "Don't worry about it," he says. We smoked a bowl and a couple of cigarettes and maybe made out a little bit. Then he took me by the wrist again and led me back past the Dirty Boys and into the house. 13 kids billowed, packed up against each other in the kitchen, drowning brown, clear liquids. Trisha passed by, looking me up and down. "Who the fuck are you?" she said, but got distracted and walked away before I could respond. We pressed through the bodies towards the main hall, past Lindsay Patterson, Nicole Porter, making out against the refrigerator, and 2 unfamiliar Chads doing knife rips off the stove. We pushed past the bathroom line, through the hallway, into the living room. The overheads were off. A couple of lamps were on and a pair of novelty lights flashing blue and red in the corner. The stereo bumping horrifying EDM, sounding like 2 planets scraping together. A woman's voice chanting, "Who's gonna get my honey jar? Who's gonna taste my sticky sweet?" About a dozen kids folded their bodies over a pair of enormous velour beanbags, sucking face and fingering other blankets and throw pillows. A boy in a corner recording it all on his phone. The walls' shapes drifted in and out of kaleidoscope, flatworms beneath my skin, an encroaching loss of language. The vibration moved outward from my chest, sides and extremities, throbbing open spaces ever slightly, gradual expansion, shimmers and trails, and boys and girls with pulsing wet slug skin. I closed my eyes and opened them. It was all suddenly different, but not. I can't. I twisted around my back towards the hallway, my shoulders and chest bumping off shoulders and chest, distant voices echoing back off and what the fuck eternally. Past awful Trisha and the knife-ripped Chads, all leaned up against the dishwasher and butcher's block, shrieking like buzzards, and I slipped out through the screen door like a C-section. The space empty now, except pine trees shuddering in the wind, sprouting tiny golden fireworks. I fumbled into my pocket and pulled out my cigarettes and lighter, hands trembling, removing a USA Gold and sticking it between my lips. "Hey," a hand on my shoulder. I spun around. It was Tyler. Of course, a thin smile on his face, but weird, sad eyes. I can't. It's cool, man. Don't worry. It's good." He laughed. "I mean, it has to be. You don't really have a choice for the next 8 hours. I can't go back in there. I can't." Then we won't. And he squeezed my hand in his hand. We sat there in the grass watching the pines turn to fireworks. Jill. I texted Kennedy to see if she'd made it to the party. She replied, "Too drunk, too serious, down for cunt." I texted Cindy. She said that she had her hands full taking care of Kennedy. Tyler still hadn't gotten back to me. Mom was asleep. Ashley was still out with her friends. Dad wouldn't be getting back for another couple days. So I got dressed and crept out the back door and across to the garage. The robins who'd built a nest atop the overhead lamp chirped wild as I walked to my bike. 3 babies stuck their head up and out of the nest. I pulled my bike out from under the tarp and pedaled through the hot dark, through downtown, up to Trisha's house, and through her stone lion-guarded gate and pale moon driveway. I reached the house and no one was there. Lou. I got home and went straight upstairs to my room. I sat down at my desk and opened my laptop. My insides bubbled. I took my left hand in the other and cracked my knuckles gently, rolled my head around my neck, one way and then the other. I reached my hands back beneath my shirt and scraped my shoulders pink. I took my right hand in the other and cracked those knuckles gently. If I didn't do those things, it'd feel like all of the Earth's oxygen was tearing apart. I logged in, clicked open the browser, clicked open the forum bookmark. Black background, red text, green text, gray text. Only a few new posts since that morning. Crazy Bob, 1908. I think it's gonna be a good night. Piegate, 1914. Yes. Some posters thought Crazy Bob had premonitions. When he said it was going to be a good night, a body was almost guaranteed to turn up. So I sat there, clicking refresh, waiting. Amir. It was alright. Outside was alright, in the grass and trees. I cackled for 10 minutes, or an hour, and when I finally stopped, I laid my face and chest against the grass and let myself sink deep. I closed my eyes, and instead of dark, there was a vast beige chrome wall, soft and glistening like jelly. Inside, I could see my entire life. And if I focused hard enough, I could change things, make them better. I wanted to stay there forever. Amir. Amir. I ignored the voice. Dude, Amir. Amir Jagov Wilson. Tyler's voice. The wall dissolved, replaced by strands of every color spiraling out from a black void. Black strings reach out towards me, hideous and flapping. I opened my eyes and rolled onto my back. Tyler stood over me. Dirt in his hair, irises swallowed by black, his lips stretched against his teeth, purple flaky whirl leaves stuck to his gums, that big dumb face. What? I said. Are you okay? I'm nice and even. I'm in a real smooth way. Doesn't matter. We've got to go. What? I sat up fast. The world shivered and blurred and suddenly snapped clear. Now in this weird, hideous focus. Kids ran from the house, their bikes and cars. Is it cops? No, not at all. He leaned down and grabbed my forearm and pulled on me. We gotta go. Now. What? It's happening. He did it. It's happening. Come on. We ran down the driveway, dug our bikes out from the bushes, and tore off toward downtown. Below, the lights looked like jellyfish and fireflies, and just then I decided I wanted to be buried at sea. Jill. I combed Trisha's property. Lights on, everywhere, but no one around. Just cigarette butts, empty bottles, and puke. I texted him again. Nothing. I biked down to his place. All the lights were off. I texted him again. I biked over to the grade school playground. No one. I texted him one last time and went home. Crept back into my room and climbed into bed. I tried to sleep, but couldn't. The air was like a flu and it twisted my dreams. Lou. I clicked refresh, 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 and at 1:43 a.m. the post began trickling through. 15. My insides magenta and bubbling. 23. subject lines printing a name I had only just learned today. I clicked the name. An image appeared. Amir. We passed a lot where Paulson's department store had stood. At the storefront that used to be King Midas Computer Repair, the building where Carl's Meats had been, passing under street lights, then into dark, then black, under light, over and over like a slow strobe. Everything dead except for us. The other kids, about 7 or 8 of them, raced by our sides, whooping over the rolling tear of tire on asphalt, stirring up the humid dark. Tyler swung left onto Crescent Street past the Dunkin' Donuts and Twisted Vision Body Art, then right onto Stable Avenue, toward Regal Lanes. We all slowed up ahead, up ahead. Under an LED and neon halo, about 70 kids swarmed the front of a bowling alley. We'd hang there on weekends and after school, all through the summer. None of us really bowled, but the AC worked and most of the arcade games did too. That place was all dull, ruptured magic. Decades faded carpet and glitching House of the Dead cabinets, strobe lights, and a beat-to-shit air hockey table. Winky butt rocked pumped through the blown PA speakers. Kids lost their blowjob virginities and sucked their first whippets in the arcade's dark cobweb corners. We'd eat bars and drink in the crackling, bit-crushed oblivion. The splattered clusters of pixel and polygon. It mattered to us tremendously. We were children. We ditched our bikes and started running. Jill. The night it happens. The moon is high and wide as a pupil, casting the mountains icy blue. Turkey vultures spiral and scream overhead. Bodies in rank, wet clothes push toward the reek. Pink and white light bouncing off the sweat-glazed skin. Wind like a riot. Everyone wanting a peek. I wasn't there, but I can see it in my mind. I know what it was like. I know it like a dream. And that way, it's still happening. And always will be. Amir. The sweaty skins and muscles packed in like a tight clot of flies. Trisha, the dirty boys, those knife-ripped bros, and dozens of others I'd seen in school but never really knew. Everyone with their phones out, raised at arm's length. The boy's body dangled just above the entrance. Eyes bulged, a tongue pushed through a dissented mouth. His throat twisted through the loop of an orange extension cord. His pants smeared wet and brown, dribbling out the bottom of his left cuff. Flies already swarming. All of the world blurred a vibrating hemorrhage. And it was fine because I could finally feel how little impact I'd ever have on the world. Losing that dread that one day you'll somehow ruin everything. For yourself and everyone else. The realization that I can simply leave and the world wouldn't miss me. Vultures swam above in muggy beige and blue light, and everyone around me felt as hollow as balloons. I took out my phone and started taking pictures too. It was beautiful because we didn't know him. Then sirens, honking and flashing lights, blue and white. The crowd heaved and pulled apart. I began to fall, but Tyler yanked me upright and we pushed through the scattering bodies back down the alley where we've stashed our bikes. We hopped on and booked out of there, cackling mad and rabid and still alive. Lou. Hector Ferreira was Kinsfield's 31st suicide that year. 57 residents had taken their own lives a year prior. Grown-ups didn't understand it, and neither did we. But we talked about it online, under fake names that didn't make sense, trading information and telling lies. I don't know why. Apart from Jill, this may have been the only thing Tyler and I shared in common, at least then. By morning, more than 100 pictures of Hector's body had been posted. Eventually, the mods would go through and compile the best shots, essential angles, and clear out the rest, but I liked to be there at the start, so I could see them all. The note they found on his body read, "I see you. Jill." I didn't find out until the morning. Mom was crying in the kitchen. She'd seen it on the news. "We just saw him." She said she couldn't believe it. Amir. I already knew things were going to change that summer. I could feel the future lying empty before us, there to be filled and molded. We rode back to his place and snuck down the basement, smoked weed and cigarettes ecstatic, rapping quietly over some of Marlon's beats, scrolling through the pictures we'd taken until we were too tired to stand.